let's have quiet for a few minutes. If you want to turn your mics off, that would be most wonderful. Because we're gonna get the next scene going with his music.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you could still hear me?
You gotta mute yourself.
How about now? You can still hear me.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was muted before. Okay, so I gotta mute it this way.
This is stupid. Attention. The system is not broken. It is working just as it was meant to. Heavy or its polarity. The time is now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey, welcome everybody to We Are the People podcast. I am Mick Talbot. With me tonight.
Yo, I'm Pat, up here in the North Woods, minding my own damn business.
And I am Steven, down here in the Metro, minding everybody else's.
That's right. Hey, and this is the We Are the People podcast. We're just starting this thing out, so bear with us. We got a lot of learning to do because it's a whole new world right now, and that's actually not even a joke. Look, man, 15 days. It's all he's been in office, and good or bad, regardless of how you feel on the issues, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, and I think tonight is a good night as any to let's discuss a little bit about what's happening here since the 20th of January when Donald J. Trump became our 47th president. Who would like to start?
Stephen, you can roll with that. I'm going to share this out a little bit more here.
Yeah, let's get it. So it's been less than 30 days.
Yeah, way less. Half of that, 15.
It's been like 2 weeks. We have the biggest tariff bat ever swung in the last, since like ye old founders took seats.
Hey,
Being swung in basically every direction, which we did get news, I think today, I think it was today, that both Canada and Mexico have folded to the astounding, impressive, truly tariff bat that Senior Trump has been swinging. They talked big game. But they all came right back to the table. Not crawling back, just came back to the table and said, "All right, you have our attention. What exactly are we trying to accomplish here?" Canada did in fact state that they are going to crack down heavily on the fentanyl transit into our country, which is wonderful. I think that helps them and us. And
they designated,
the Mexican president.
They also designated any of the drug dealers and that in Canada as terrorists as well now. So that was the big one. They sent $1.3 billion worth of a bill to get done there. 10,000 troops are going to the border. Yeah, look, man, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for either side. And I honestly don't. It was an absolute bargaining chip, is all it was. Donald Trump was doing. That's all he was doing. He's like, look, you don't want this. We don't want this. I'm gonna just tell the American people this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna give me a couple of days. You're gonna look tough, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go, oh, you know what? We actually agree with you, and here's some money, and we're gonna make sure that they don't come across the border. Dude, it was all an act. But it was a hell of a good act.
Right. Well, no, and hey, so this is something that actually has garnered incredible respect from me for Trump, which, I mean, he doesn't make himself a super easily respectable dude, but on the same token, like, he has this really made a mark on me, and it made a mark on me in that when you're in charge, whatever that means, could be a president, could be management, could be whatever, right? When you're in charge, everyone knows you're in charge because it's your title. You're there, obviously. They report to you, you hand things down to them, whatever it is. The way you choose to apply your power practically is quite often, and almost always, what truly defines leadership. And in this case, he could have done something much more rash. He could have sent boots on the ground places. He could have done some very interesting things. But instead, he chose to wield, we'll say, the not really a pen, but more, he chose to wield the balance sheet rather than the hammer. And I think that says a lot about how far he's come since the last time he was in that chair. And I also think that it says a lot to the world stage about who they're dealing with, because he isn't going to come out swinging, but he does mean business. And that's the beauty of tariffs and the power of the purse, is you can say, okay, cool. Well, if you don't really care about our plight, we're going to, in the very least, exact a tax to help compensate us for our plight. If you would like to care about our plight, we can chat. You should come chat.
So, you know what that reminded me of? Everything you just said. Remember The Dark Knight Rises? Bane.
Oh,
that's
his
good.
That's real good.
Puts this part of his hand on the guy's shoulder and says, "Do you feel in charge?" That's what Donald Trump is doing right now. He's like, okay, look, you guys have been having this nice little party for 4 years and 8 years when he was in, because he never got to do anything. Actually make it 16 with Obama. Look, you guys have been fucking around long enough, okay? The adults are here now. It's time to settle down. Get rid of all this make-believe shit that you wanted to do. It's time for America to become America again. El Salvador is taking back all of their prisoners and more. Colombia bent the knee within 10 hours of Trump saying, oh, well, tariffs. They're like, you know what? We'll take them all. Take them all back. And now he's sending 30,000 of the worst that he doesn't trust to go back to their countries for them to let them out and come back. He's putting them in Gitmo. Okay?
Yeah.
So look, he has said everything he said he's going to do, he has literally done in 15 days. I'm not, once again, like you said, I applaud the guy. I praise for what he's standing for. He's literally doing everything he said he was going to do. Thank you. I still am not 100% behind the guy because there are some things with the immigration that I am a little bit still kind of pushy back on. But look, get them out of here. The bad ones need to go. The good ones, if you stay really quiet and hide, just let the storm pass. Let us get rid of all the bad ones. And then we'll let you go back to picking crops or working at KFC or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? That's
Well,
I kind of got it.
Right.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, Patrick, please.
I say, actually, I kind of got into a conversation with somebody, or no, not a conversation, but I made a post in a local chat group up here about because there was somebody talking about putting a warning out about ICE being around, and I kind of being a smart ass, who would have thought, I was like, whatever ICE does, just don't mess with the people at Vallarta's. that Mexican place, dude. Like, I was like, the food is bomb. Just leave those guys alone. They're contributing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
leave the ones alone. The Park Rapids one is really good. Their food is amazing. Just let them.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I mean, hey, like, don't get me wrong. The ICE raids really rub me the wrong way. Now their orders being to come after, say, known criminals, etc. I appreciate that. That's not a bad way to go. That being said, I don't know that ICE raids are the right way to do it. I think that is so. For example, the ICE raids are a spectacular example of Trump reaching for the hammer when he should really be reaching for either the pen or the balance sheet. Like the pen or the pocketbook would have been a particularly decent way to handle that problem. But on the same token, if you have a bunch of people in your country that are actually violent criminals, but because they're in your country illegally, you have no idea where they are. You have no idea, like, what you can't identify them. There's, you know what I mean? So I do understand how somebody could make a very reasonable argument, and I wouldn't necessarily hate on them for that this is and or may be the only way to address that particular problem. So you almost kind of have to just wince and go, oh man, this is gonna suck for a bit. And so yeah, I mean, and obviously the immigrants that are here illegally that have, I don't know, thriving businesses, yeah, leave them the hell alone. They might as well be Americans. Yeah. Maybe send them some forms and say, hey, you can budge the line. We'll get to the processing when we get to it. Obviously, you're contributing. I got nothing to say about that. Like, what? That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like, because you're right. The food is fire, and I'm not going to hate on that. So I'll buy that.
Out here nourishing Americans.
Yeah. So I want to read you a quick post that I found today that absolutely. So. Not the Beyonce and country one. We'll go to that later.
What?
Right. So here we go. Don't even for the Iranian people. He is speaking and acting more like George Washington of foreign policy than I have ever seen. Strength, compassion, concern for his country first. He is a visionary genius. Now, I understand. Wow, our cameras are all messed up. You guys there?
I am so here.
Yeah, we're there. YouTube is throttling us right now.
Yeah, YouTube is throttling us.
So on the playback, they must not like something weird. They must, you know what? They must want fentanyl in this country.
Yeah, because I'm all.
That's got to be
it.
I
look like I'm in the Johnny Mnemonic movie right now or something from.
I can see it.
So anyway.
Breaking, this just in, YouTube is pro fentanyl. YouTube is pro fentanyl.
Yes, they are. So look at that. Oh, wait, Patrick's back. Hang on. You're back, Patrick. Patrick is there.
Right. Hi.
Let's see if I.
Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here, or if we're coming through. I wonder what would happen if you can you remove the flag the waving flag. Maybe it's just too
I
much
already
going
did
on.
that. I already removed the flag.
So yeah, we're dealing with some
Okay, now
glitches
all
there.
three of
We
us are
must have
back.
been talking about
No, all
something
three of us are
with.
back. Here we go.
Are
We
we?
are
I'm
so
not seeing
back.
that.
We're so back. The flag's not. That's all
Sorry,
right.
YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. Whatever
Sorry,
you get.
YouTube. Here, we'll just expand the screen
Too
down
much
more.
truth.
Hey,
Too
there you
much
go.
truth.
How about that? All right. So anyway, within his first 2 weeks, he is already over meeting with Israel, trying to get all of that conflict over there taken care of in person, instead of sending his whatever you want to call them, his dignitaries. Look, Donald Trump went over there and sat down with whatever.
I thought he invited him. Is that?
Oh,
I
is
thought
he here?
invited
Maybe
him
he's here. Okay, maybe
No,
he's
I
here.
know yesterday because I actually read the official invitation, come
Okay.
come kick it.
So all right, so he's here. So he invited him over to get this thing done instead of having all
Did he
of his
come?
lackeys do it. Yeah, they just had a press conference on
Oh.
Fox News that they were shaking hands and sitting in a room talking right before the show started.
I've been gone all day. I actually literally
So-
just got back before the show time.
So I'm assuming
I've been
they're over there
on
talking about peace treaties, trying to get this conflict resolved over there so people stop dying. So I was trying to get in to watch it before we started, and then I forgot the Wilds were on, so I lost my train of thought because But anyway,
Same.
it's crazy how much has changed even in speech. Now, people aren't afraid to talk about things. There's a lot of stuff coming out. People are talking like we did, back in the GW Bush days. The you know what I mean? Back to
Coyote
the early
conference.
2000s, man, when people weren't afraid to be who they were and not afraid to get lynched by the media and the social mediaites if you say something that they don't agree with.
The woke mob.
Woke is dead. And
Oh,
I'm not even look, I'm all about inclusion. I mean, hey, look, man, if you want to be included, just fucking come over and say, hey, I want to be included. Right?
You're invited to the party. Just show up.
Yeah, just show up. I have no
And
problem
be cool.
with I have never had a problem with race, gender, anything when it came to a circle of friends. It's a person.
Right. Well, and I think it's important to note that our society, through both the sort of I don't know, communist philosophy-driven politics, has taken a huge hiatus from a very classical and very much classical in Minnesota, but I haven't lived in every other state, so I wouldn't know there for sure. But I know from where I'm at, it was a pretty classical fixture to learn to get comfortable with the opinions that other people have of you that you don't like.
Yeah.
And it was part of life. Like if kids were mean to you at school, you didn't have a mental health event. If it got out of hand, the teacher said, hey, that's enough. You can sit down now. And until then, you just had to get used to the fact that some people just ain't going to like you. And they're going to have really unpleasant opinions about you. And you'll have to live with that. That's life. And it shouldn't make you it shouldn't make you rage out. It shouldn't make you hate your fellow man or fellow woman or whoever. It shouldn't make anybody hate anybody. People are allowed to have opinions about you that you don't like. And that's just it. That's all there is to it. And the sooner we get back to people being able to share that in a public space without being canceled,
yeah,
the better. Because until then, almost all of human expression where that is the reality is stifled completely. Like you want innovation, you want invention, you want, one second. You want broad improvement in your social or your technological space, kiss it goodbye. As long as nobody feels like they can say what's on their mind, you're never going to get ideas. You're never going to get the special something that humanity has that the squirrels don't. Like you're not going to get that.
No,
because nobody feels comfortable talking. They're like, I'm not even bothered mentioning that. I'm going to keep that to myself. Never mind.
No, I completely agree, man. I think the problem with everything nowadays is we just um we're just afraid of other people's opinions, and we shouldn't have to be afraid of other people's opinions of who we are. I'm me. Okay, look, that's all there is to it. I'm me, and get over it. I know
Like it or
you ain't
not,
gonna like me.
unapologetically.
Unapologetic, man.
Unapologetically.
Absolutely. I just want to see how we look here. Cool.
Beautiful.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
Well, I
looks
mean,
good.
like,
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. But no, it's the truth. Like, you should be able to unapologetically be who you are.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to like all your opinions, and they don't have to. Your opinions not being what somebody else wants to hear does not preclude you from humanity, nor does it preclude you from being treated like you. That should have nothing to do with it. The goodness out of somebody else's heart doesn't have to be secondary to how they vote, what kind of movies they watch,
Yep.
or who they choose to sleep with. That should have absolutely nothing to do with I would say, like, the hard law of basic human compassion. Those things should never reach each other. That's not relevant. Like, you should never, like if you find yourself entertaining thoughts like, ooh, I don't like this kind of person. How can I ruin their day, life, job, etc.? You are the problem. Congratulations. If you're having those kinds of thoughts, you should check that immediately at the door and try to improve who you are, because you are now putting the thoughts of others over their inherent humanity, which you should have compassion for.
Sorry, I had a
I rest
Snickers
my
in my
case.
No,
mouth.
you're right.
So my big thing about it is it's a lack of self-respect for themselves that everybody has that does that. And that's how they make themselves feel better, is by literally lashing out at everybody that they don't like for an opinion, for their looks, for who they hang around with, what they eat, where they work, what neighborhood they live in, what state they live in. Okay, seriously, do you hate all Californians? No, I don't hate
Absolutely
all.
not.
No.
But
No.
we
Some,
lump-
maybe, but
But we
not all.
lump California in as a cesspool. No, there's some really good people in California. It's the areas of California that are cesspools.
Mhm.
So it's just the problem with everything nowadays is labeling. Everything has to have a label on it. No, it does not have to have a label on it. That's why.
I swear to God, Mick, I could write a dissertation, like a straight up real, like we're talking sources. We can go Chicago style, we can, however writing style you'd like. I could write a dissertation on how labeling going up reduces, almost perfectly proportionately, reduces cognitive engagement in social interactions.
Uh-huh.
Once you start popping labels, everybody now thinks they know what's actually being discussed, when all they really know is their version of the things that are being discussed. And then, like the interaction, the interaction then becomes, it almost becomes, I guess the best way to describe it that isn't going to be overly technical is half-baked. It becomes like, it becomes a facsimile. It looks like an interaction to you, and it looks like an interaction to them. But if you broke down what all those terms meant with the other person, you would probably find that most of them don't entirely match up, and some of them don't match up at all. So now two people are talking, throwing, buzzwords, whatever the current thing is. They're throwing buzzwords, et cetera, around, and they don't both know what each other entirely means. They just know what they've heard. And so they hear the label, they think one thing. This person says, I said the label, so they know what I mean by that. But technically speaking, unless you had that very tedious conversation, neither of you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. You're just throwing these terms back and forth and doing the happy agree thing. But you're not actually cognitively engaged in that conversation. The wheels aren't really turning. You're just playing an animated GIF on loop of wheels turning in front of the other person. And you both look at the wheels turning and go, ah, yes, this is a good interaction. I like you. This is great. That's all it really is. And that results in this this sort of collective unconsciousness, because we're not really having that connection that we would usually have 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. You're having something else, something entirely other that is only really real to you, and the other person experiences something else, which also feels real to them, but they're not meeting anymore.
I was watching an episode of Gutfeld the other day, and Tyrus had touched on something along those lines. And I'll be damned if I had it in my head the whole time. I was waiting for you to stop, and then the dead air hit, and I lost everything. So I'll come back to it when I remember
No!
it. Yeah, it was a good point too, man. It was valid. So then let's just get on to it. All right. I did not watch the Grammys because I don't need to watch a bunch of overpaid, overhyped people get praise for something that isn't even talent anymore. But my wife...
The what?
Huh? The Grammys.
The Grammy Awards?
The Grammy? What is that? I don't think I've ever
music
watched
awards.
it before. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay.
I know.
I certainly haven't watched it. I haven't watched this one because I genuinely don't care. But I'm sure it matters.
It actually doesn't. But
it doesn't. It's just them circle jerking.
So my wife was watching it, or something came out, and she's like, "Hey, honey, come in and watch the Quincy Jones tribute," because Quincy Jones passed away, and I'm a big Quincy Jones fan. I thought, you know what?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to watch this.
Oh, that sucks.
This Quincy Jones is rolling over in his fucking grave.
Quincy.
It was the worst, god-awful thing I literally have ever witnessed in my entire life. It started out with Herbie Hancock playing the piano, which, of course, I'm a big Herbie Hancock fan. Absolutely great jazz man. And then some female singer came out who was not the best. To me, I didn't think she was a good singer, but she did a rendition of it was an old Frank Sinatra song that Quincy was part of, and she did the soul version with all these acapellas, and I'm just like, this is fucking awful. And she had these like Wolverine fingernails, and she was off key, and it was just bad. Well, then
Was it Doja Cat?
No, she was a singer, not an actual like rapper singer.
Oh, it was an actual person.
Okay. And then Lainey Wilson, who's an actual really good country singer, came out and did a rendition of one of his songs in a country blues, but it was a ballad. It was fucking awful. Then Stevie Wonder is out.
She ruined it?
Oh, she ruined it. And then Stevie Wonder was out with Herbie Hancock playing the harmonica to not really even sure this song he was playing, but he was blind, so I was going to say he couldn't see what he was doing because it was awful, but it was Stevie Wonder, so a joke wouldn't even work. The harmonica was off by notes. He wasn't hitting them. And then he talked about We Are the World.
I thought he was blind, not deaf.
Then he started talking about We Are the World. And so you both have seen what Billy Ray Cyrus looked like at the Trump inaugural thing, right? Where he was literally, they turned his guitar off halfway through.
They really did that? I thought that was just somebody doing a literally
turned his
edit.
Guitar off during that stupid ass rap song he did, the Get Up. Or whatever, the one that
because with Lil Uzi Vert, because he's like a fucking Satan worshiper.
He wasn't even playing it. He was just strumming. He wasn't singing the words. And then he tried to do an acoustic version of Achy Breaky Heart. and he couldn't sing it. He looked like Rob Zombie and Jesus had a baby. It was bad.
That's
So
that's a good burn, Mick. That's a good burn. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
The Stevie Wonder "We Are the World" thing was almost as bad. He's trying to sing the whole thing. Stevie Wonder cannot sing anymore. He's like 400 pounds. He's got no vocal range anymore. But then they brought out this kids choir from California and tried to help with the. It was literally I was just like, this is awful. This is terrible. I think we actually turned it off because there was somebody coming out to do a Michael Jackson thing, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm done. I'm done. Oh no, it's been blasted all over everywhere about how ridiculous, how Beyonce wins Best Country Artist and Album of the Year
by ripping off the Franklin theme song. You know,
yes, I know.
When you were a kid, Steven, like
get out of here.
Franklin
I'm not
theme
kidding.
song, dude. It is.
Yeah,
it is. Like, we're not gonna risk playing it because it's not paying.
No, I actually.
Dime.
I was gonna say,
but yeah, dude, they bought that. Dude, actually, they bought that. You know how much money Jay-Z spent?
Oh, so there was another meme I saw. Actually, it was one of those informational memes. When the Dixie Chicks joined the stage with Beyonce, Alan Jackson stood up and left the auditorium from the Grammys that night.
Get out of here.
No. He was like, yeah, okay.
Hell, fucking yeah.
Done. I'm done. This is not country music.
Toby Keith would have fucking stood the fuck. Toby
Keith would have walked up there and grabbed that microphone out and he would have grabbed the microphone out like Kanye and said, look here, look. Yo, man, she had the best country album right there. Boom. Drop the mic and leave.
I mean, clearly, this conversation has taught me two very important things. One, I was right not to watch the Grammys. Two,
you're always right, but not.
I have not. God bless you, Pat. Two, I have not listened to nearly enough Quincy Jones lately, so that's queued up in the playlist now. But
I actually was at the pawn shop or thrift store the other day. And there was a Quincy's Greatest Hits, and I was just like, ooh. They wanted like $6 or something. Like, yeah, no, I don't like. I like Quincy, but not $6 for
not $6. Like,
it turns out that's some rare copy, yeah, and you turned down like a $500 record.
Inside of it was signed by Quincy or something, you know, some fucked up thing like that, you know. Anyway, it's all right.
The time period's equivalent of a dick text.
Yeah. So, so back to the tariffs, though. I want to get back to this tariffs thing because, from what I understand, companies are actually moving jobs back to the United States. John Madden Shoe Company is actually moving all of their manufacturing to
Steve Madden.
Steve Madden. Not John Madden.
It's John's cousin. If he
gets dirty, he's going to have to wash his uniform. Brett Favre.
I grew up playing John Madden on video games, by the way, but yes.
Anyway, Steve Madden Shoe Company is moving all of their manufacturing plants to South Carolina. Announced, I believe, on Steven Crowder. References available in the description. He says that, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's ever since there's probably been at least a half a dozen businesses that have Samsung is moving from Mexico to somewhere in the United States for the manufacturing plant. Just
I bet you it ain't fucking Minnesota.
Well, no, we ain't got
unfortunate,
but
that's a safe bet to make.
But literally, once again, the man takes office. Everybody knows he doesn't play around. He doesn't bullshit. He doesn't lie. He's like, look, he just told Iran today, you will be obliterated if you assassinate me. We will obliterate you if you assassinate me. He said that. That is a quote on CNN.
For real?
Yes. So, look.
I mean, it's better than a smoking radioactive crater because that sounds a little more devious.
Yeah.
But I mean, damn, that's good.
We're going to turn you into the biggest golf course in the world. We're just going to keep dropping bombs until we can't drop bombs no more.
The biggest golf course, though. Dude, that is a great line. I am stealing that. I'm declaring a crime. I'm stealing that from Nick
Clip
right
it, clip
now.
it, time mark it, clip it.
So,
yes.
Once again, you always got to have a comedian on your podcast. You always got to have a comedian on your podcast, man.
Fact.
So yeah, I this tariff thing though, you know, I'm really surprised. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff coming out about him wanting to get rid of income tax, man. He wants to get rid of it. He wants all of our money to be on tariffs.
You know, to that note,
we were that way.
Trump has announced that he is going to shutter USAID.
Yes, 100% done. It's
what
that is, which I want to make sure I'm being as clear about this as possible. So,
you don't USAID, USAID, basically.
Yes.
Oh,
which it's not U.S. aid as in the idea that the United States sends aid to other countries. He's not canceling. What he is canceling. So USAID is a board. Think of it like a board of directors or a board of physicians and stuff like that. And this board has tons of sitting politicians, sitting federal level politicians. It's one of the many ways where essentially you can make like a six-figure salary, but like a $200,000 or $300,000 federal House or federal Senate position into like a $30 million net worth is by essentially siphoning U.S. aid sent to other countries at a percentage whilst presiding over some fake council and so there's a ton of U.S. politicians, sitting U.S. politicians that are on the U.S. aid board. And like President Zelensky, funny enough, not that I give him a ton of credit, but funny enough, mentioned that of the whatever.
Oh, 200 billion. 200 billion. He has only gotten $100 billion of the money. I saw that.
I thought it was 177 billion, but yeah, either way, like it doesn't matter. If they're skimming like tens of billions of dollars off of what U.S. taxpayers are willfully saying it's okay to give to other countries,
how much?
100 billion with a B. $100 billion dollars of the 200 billion or whatever is unaccounted for.
It's like a 40 to 50% rate. Yeah, basically. So like what'll end up happening is like the Senate and the executive, the chief executive, will approve foreign aid, and then it goes through USAID, and they take their chunk, which can be anywhere, I guess, from like 30 to 50%, and then they send the rest off to whatever country. So they've really just been skimming off the top every time we send money overseas.
It's fucking money.
And that's why Zelensky felt like mentioning it. Yeah, it's literally like it's the less shady but still very immoral money laundering. The shady money laundering is where it goes all the way over to Ukraine and still finds its way back. Yeah. This version, it never actually leaves, and they come up with some, whatever, publicly acceptable excuse, but that doesn't make it acceptable.
Oh man, so much shit is coming out, and it's not even started coming out yet. Literally,
chickens are coming home to roost, baby.
Oh my god. So there's so much to say and so little time to say it. I honestly I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Honestly, I am actually excited to wake up tomorrow, turn on the YouTube news and just scroll through it and go, "Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Oh, another plane went down. Oh, okay. No problem." I mean, literally, do you see how glazed over
plane or rocket?
Glazed over the news we are? We had a gymnastics airplane go down in Sully's River there, and they couldn't survive. But
33.
then the next day or two, the Philadelphia rocket that hit the ground at subsonic speed. How the fuck does that happen with an airplane?
A plane, just like the Pentagon. It was a plane.
But all of a sudden, tariffs start talking, and then you literally just stop talking about this poor girl who wasn't even in the helicopter or airplane, because we know it wasn't a fucking airplane. But honestly, that's it's
right.
They just.
Well, I think it's important.
Too much news cycle. Too much news cycle. It's just too much.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we've discovered very recently. Well, two things. One thing I want to mention right after that, because it's very important. You can sum up a lot of this in a very straightforward sentence. The United States public, the American people, have officially discovered, without question, hesitation, or confusion, that their country had been turned into a strip mine, and they are, in fact, the workers.
Yeah.
2, data. High volume data. Like, corporations are nuts about it right now because they've discovered that we have all of the necessary technology to collect more data than we know how to sift through. We just straight up don't know how to get through it all. Like, it's not so much that they don't know what's going on. It's that they know everything that's going on, and figuring out what's relevant within that data is its own mini game all by itself. A whole full corporate structure is necessary to be assigned to massive bodies of data when they're collected about whatever is going on, sometimes even just within a company, within mass transactions, et cetera. Getting to what you actually want out of that massive sea of data has become our next new problem. Funny enough, it's been exported to the American citizen via mass news coverage of so many things. You just can't keep up with it.
Can't keep
like,
up.
What are you, just go bury your head in the sand, because you're never going to read it all. You ain't got enough time to. And even if you did, would you be happier if you did? Like, and half of it, how do you know how much was even true? You know, the spin's so bad in that thing, it blurs when you look at it.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you supposed to do? And so, naturally, the average American says, well, don't like that, and then goes on to do the other thing.
Yeah.
Because why would I bother trying to scroll through 3 gazillion news articles, 80% of which don't apply to me personally, and about 90% of which would make me more depressed than the last time I looked at it? So, like, why would I bother? And I'm honestly not sure how on purpose that is. Because theoretically speaking, if you blast all of the most unrealistic, ridiculous crap, the propagandized politicos, well, they'll eat that up. They'll comment all over it. You'll get a pile of engagement. People who aren't there, which is most people, are going to be like, that seems a tad slanted. Never mind, I'm done reading. And that's why, like, half the news sites you go to have paywalls on them now. Yeah. Because only the political vocal minority that they particularly cater to with the spin and the angle they write their articles at actually cares enough to pay for what they're writing. Yeah. Everybody else is like, oh man, another one of these, next. And so a ton of news just is never actually seen.
Yeah, no,
usually the important stuff.
So here's a prime example of, they have all your information and you're always being listened to, and your every move. So my son Thomas was at St. Mary's this last week. We thought he was at 42, was having a heart attack.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing all right.
Yeah, holy crap.
Yeah, so we went back Monday for the follow-ups and everything like that, and he has some kind of aortic something or other that is, I guess, hereditary in his father's side of the family, but he'll be all right. You know, we got to work on some stuff with him. Anyway, as we're driving back from Duluth, Mary gets an email saying something about, hey, you know, it's about time for a heart checkup and all this. And Mary's like, I literally have never gotten an email from Essentia Health in my entire life. All of a sudden, our son is having heart problems, and now I'm getting an email saying it's time for a heart checkup. She's like, I am so fucking done with all of this 24/7 surveillance. I mean, literally, what are the chances that she's going to get? Now, if I would have gotten the same email, then I'd have been, all right, look, motherfuckers, stop listening to my conversations. But, you know, it's just weird that, you know, I mean, literally was talking about something while I had my phone out, and as soon as I went to my Facebook, all of the ads had to do with
Yep.
what.
All
Like
the
really?
time.
So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we all know that everybody's listening to us all the time. I mean, it's
It's-
part of the
it-
Patriot Act.
And you know, it's always the Temu ads. Or Temu, or however the hell you
Yeah,
pronounce
you
it.
know what? You can buy
Like-
some pretty dirty shit on there. I got really high one night, and I just started looking for stuff. And hey, if you
You get crazy.
dig deep enough into the Bangkok style life stuff, you know what? It's all on there, baby, and you can order it and have it shipped right to your door. It's bad. Because
Well, I'm going to bed now.
Types feverishly.
Yeah.
That's enough internet for me.
That's enough internet for
Yeah.
today.
Hey, look, that's what
But no,
happens when you have a creative mind and you get really high. You just start thinking of stupid shit. And
Wait,
there's
did you
no
eat
way-
the whole
There
gummy?
is no way I can buy a one-legged sex doll with bolts in her neck. Oh wait, there it is on Temu. Not shitting, man. I am not shitting.
You know,
God bless Temu.
Gotta make sure.
like if I start talking about the next gun I want to buy, right? I will start getting Temu ads for solvent traps.
Solvent traps.
For what?
Nobody get that one? Nobody get that joke? So
Yeah.
a
I missed
suppressor.
it.
Yeah.
So if I start talking about the next gun I'm trying to buy, if I start going like, oh man, I've been dying to pick up a Chris Vector in whatever 10 mil, 9 or whatever. I'm like, dude, I can't wait to
10.
find time and money to buy that thing. And whatever, I'll have that conversation. I'll start scrolling Facebook and I'll start getting, I kid you not, I'll start getting Temu and AliExpress ads for solvent traps. Now, if you're anybody who knows anything about like we'll say like the underground firearm scene, you will know
I don't.
that a solvent trap, a literal, just a regular like plumbing solvent trap, is we'll say architecturally identical to a suppressor.
I did not know this.
In fact, it is
That's
a common
crazy, dude. Hold on, dude. This is crazy.
I'm serious. A common thing, which honestly, the math necessary for them to figure that out and put it in my ads is hilarious, mind you. So, like, turns out I didn't even know this. I kept on seeing these, and I was like, I'm just gonna look it up. Why am I seeing solvent traps? And I looked it up and found out that it is actually a common thing for people to purchase solvent traps, drill out the ends, and then file something called a Form 1 with the ATF and get their suppressor license for a modified solvent trap to put on the end of their fire. You can do it legally. It's 100% legal, though you do have to own the solvent trap first, and then you send your permission slip to the federal government and say, hey, is it okay if I do this? And then when they stamp it and send it back to you, then you can drill the hole. I'm not joking. It's a real thing, and it's hilarious.
That's
because
crazy.
I don't own a single suppressor. I've never wanted to buy one. But
Yeah.
they decided, oh, well, clearly if he's talking about buying a Chris Vector, he's going to need the suppressor. So let's load up his feed with a bunch of like DIY suppressor parts. And I'm like, guys, you get like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is that?
They're going a little extra.
Stop that. Stop that.
AI is
Amazing
good,
rush.
man. AI is good.
AI is good, man.
Actually, I used AI today for something. I was curious about these tariffs that everybody's talking about. Obviously,
Mhm.
we've had tariffs now for as many years as we can think. So this isn't.
Well, once upon a time, everybody,
It's what it was.
I forget which
Everybody
president
did.
it was, but he used tariffs to eliminate the national debt.
Actually, what was it? I
Which
saw.
one was it? It was back in the black and white days.
So I was watching something today, and the person was talking about 1912. Something happened in 1912. It was a murder of somebody or something. Anyway, he's one of the new guys that's calling it a conspiracy because then the next year is when the Federal Reserve and the tax stuff started or something like that. And you know what? I'll have it for the next episode. But anyway, oh shit, I lost where I was going there. What was I talking about to start with? I got off on a tangent there on taxes.
In 1835, Andrew Jackson used a $17.9 million budget surplus to pay off the entire national debt, and I bet that was all pulled
From
through
tariffs.
tariffs.
That's where I was going. I was using AI today, and I wanted to know what was up with all the tariffs. They've obviously been around forever, and the number one tariff that Canada has with us is on dairy products. They have a 300% tariff for us to send any dairy products to Canada. That to me is highway
It's
robbery.
understandable.
That's
Wait, what? Hold on a second. Mick, you called it highway robbery, and Pat, you said it was understandable. Explain yourselves, please.
Based on the big old farms and like GMOs and growth hormones and stuff like that being in the milk, I could see that being a thing of why they wouldn't want it. But who knows what the fuck they're doing up there with theirs? I know.
well, the problem
Just
is
speaking from that big, because if you can get your milk locally,
exactly,
and you
so
can't get nothing better.
They can't keep up with the supply that they need for their dairy, so they have to import it from the United States. But they charge us 300 times more for us to bring it across the border. So if it's $1, they charge us $4. So we're paying them more than it's worth. That's what the tariffs are. And it's look it up. I'm probably a little off on my numbering, but when you have an import tax of something that's 300 times what the amount of it is, then what's the point of sending it there?
But that would be 400%. If it's 4 for every one, it's 300% more than would normally cost, but it's 400% of
there
the
you
cost.
go. Yeah, 400%.
100% would be 1-to-1.
Yeah,
That's 400%.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right. That honestly, that's not even highway robbery. What that is that's called prohibitive expense.
Yeah.
The goal being to try to keep anybody from the United States from moving any dairy products across the border northward.
Yep.
Even though they apparently rely on buying it from us.
Yeah.
Unless what they really want to do is they want to avoid any U.S. businesses from moving over the border and starting to sell there because they don't want their guys to lose their ass. Which, hey, I guess I appreciate that to an extent. But on the same token, like, man, if you grossly benefit from the relationship with that country, I don't know why you would do such a thing.
Yeah, and that's why Donald Trump basically said, "Hey, look, man, we've been getting screwed for years. This is all getting turned around. This whole what used to be called NAFTA, right? The North American Free Trade, and now they changed it to some other acronym that doesn't make any sense to anybody. But basically, that stuff is that's going to get ripped up and thrown away. There's that is not fair trade. Look, they said it on half a dozen shows that I've watched. This is the golden pot right here. This is where everybody wants to be. America is where it is. This is where everybody wants to be. But you can't steal from us by not allowing us to sell our products to you or buy your look, fuck you. If you want our stuff, you're gonna pay what we want, and that's it. There's not gonna be any this, well, we want $8. No, well, bitch, I told you it's $2. So
fuck you, eh?
Eh?
So sorry.
But I mean, like, I'm so sorry.
Your buddy,
but he has literally twice or 3 times, buddy. What's up, your pal? I love South Park. But he has brought it up 2 or 3 times in the last couple of days, man, about 51st state. He's like, look, guys don't have to fight with us. Just let us be the 51st state. You guys will have all this extra fun shit down here. No border. Just you and us. We'll come together. You guys can have better hockey teams because we got more of them, better honey,
Dude,
better maple
I've
syrup.
I've seen videos of Canadians begging for that to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Like flat out, like we're like, please, Donald, buy Canada.
Dude,
They
like, literally
whatever you
took a
gotta
knee
do, I would love to be part of America.
They took a knee to England. They bowed to England and said, "Okay, we'll put the Queen on our money." Dude.
See this? See this? See this? Fuck the Brits.
It's I don't, you know what? He wants to buy Greenland. Oh, and then of course now the Panama Canal, the Panamanians had said, all right, you know what? Yeah, we're going to pull out of that deal we had with China. That just came through on PragerU that, yeah, China's done using the canal. Yeah.
Hey.
So, I mean,
it's the marquee of them.
Well, see, no, Trump, I hesitate to say he's a literal genius, but he is brilliant. And the market, I know, it's a common public misconception. The market is very complicated. It's not. In fact, it's obnoxiously simple. Now, you can take market things and you can overcomplicate them, intentionally stretching things out to hide fraud, extortion, etc. But
like Enron.
Like Enron, exactly. If you see any market activity that's more complicated than, I don't know, let's say 4 steps, you're being robbed somewhere. I'm not sure where, but like it's happening. I promise you. Now, that being said, it's very simple in that if you make it profitable to do business in America, business will be done in America. If you make it obnoxiously expensive, so nobody wants to build their company here, nobody can. They'd never be able to sell a product that you'd actually pay enough to buy. It'd be a complete waste of your time and money, and the product wouldn't even be better. It would just be the same thing that you'd be getting someplace else, but for a lot more. If that is the case, no, you will not have any manufacturing jobs. You will not have any production factory jobs. You will not have any of those sort of like salt of the earth jobs where people get great benefits, at least decent pay. And honestly, in those cases, I'm not even upset with unions. I'm perfectly okay with unions in those environments.
Yeah.
Because if you have mass employees that don't serve a unique individual purpose, they have a nasty habit of being mistreated. That's a problem. So if they need to unionize to make sure that they're treated well and they can bargain for their wages, cool. Like there's a reason why the country wept when manufacturing jobs left. There's a reason for it. So like, I mean, bring it back. And the tariffs, I mean, it's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move because it makes it very clear that if you intend to make your trillions on U.S. soil, you will do it employing Americans. If you don't, you ain't selling shit.
Right.
So I hope the folks over in Afghanistan that you're exploiting for their labor really like your products.
Yeah. They
you ain't selling them here.
They can't afford to buy them over there, though. So,
see what I mean? And that's my point. Like that's why they're moving them back.
Yeah, but I think it was mostly all flex to stop the cartels, honestly.
Oh,
well, because that's exactly what happened. Both borders were like
closed.
Like I think that was the main intent, because it's become such a fucking problem. And RFK, he been certified yet?
No.
The overall whole
voted in though.
Country.
Voted in. Now he's got
14 to 13.
He's waiting. But still, the point is I think that was really the move, was to stop the cartels, because it's not just fentanyl, it's human.
Oh, it's human.
Yes.
The aim was to, like, you're gonna put some boots over here, or ours are coming. I bet you that was said in like not out loud, but I bet you it was. You know what I mean?
Between the lines. But also, and more importantly, the tariffs will result in a net reduction in imported goods.
Yeah.
But
the reason why that matters,
he paused it all for 30 days at least for them to do what they said they're going to do. If not, the tariffs are back on.
Yeah.
Oh no, I agree. What I'm saying though is the tariffs will result in a net reduction in importation, because if the cost goes up, you're going to do less of it. That's just how it works. Like I don't make the rules. Mm-hmm. So because of that, that means that there is a statistically lower probability, or rather a statistically lower likelihood in general, that there will be illicit goods smuggled in, because in order to get illicit goods across the border or into the country, you usually have to have something else coming into the country. And they would come with it, though without anybody's knowing. As that goes down,
Absolutely right.
it becomes much, much harder to move product. That means you have to go like strictly blackout or reduce how much you're selling. Fentanyl, people, whatever.
Yeah, and then if you have a closed border, it's going to be harder to get your illegal products across the border. And if you put some more people at the ports, look, everything he's doing right now is for the better of our country. It is. He gives no more F's. He's done. He knows this is his last term, so he can't run again, and he probably won't make it to the end, but he's going to try. Look,
and he's going to rip a gigantic hole in everything has corroded and destroyed this country.
You know, and to be honest with you, I feel bad for. Go ahead, Patrick. But you're muted.
So I have a theory.
I've heard that line before.
Yeah. Evolution? Maybe?
No.
Evolution?
So, the Sweet Mary Jane, I don't want to get, knocked.
I love you, Mary
word.
Jane.
But the Sweet Mary, I believe, is going to be federally decriminalized.
Should be.
And this is also preemptive. Like, we don't need that shitty Mexican buds no more.
We got our own good buds.
And Canada, keep it to yourself. All of them PCs.
No.
They're nice.
51st state, man. They got some good bud up there.
Oh, there we go.
A lot of farmland.
But he's actually looking out for the interest of American Mary Jane peoples. Preemptively. I just have a theory. Because also he understands the lucrativity of it. Is that even a real word? If not,
you made it up. It don't matter.
It's not Jack Webster. It's gonna be.
All words are made up. Remember that.
That's
that
true.
was from fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. All words are made up.
That was from Avengers Endgame. Thank you.
Endgame.
But yes.
Thank you. Endgame.
It was marvelous. Anyway.
Stop.
What the fuck? I don't
know. Marvelous.
Where was I?
Mary Jane.
You have a theory.
Yeah.
You have a theory of evolution on Mary Jane.
Yeah. I think that's coming, and that's also part of it.
Well, yeah, the decriminalization and the income.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, more people smoking weed, more food is going to get eaten, which means we need more crops.
More farmers.
Need more people in the Mountain Dew factories.
And it's going to it's not going to have this yellow number 5 anymore.
Yeah, it won't have any more 5s and 3s and 8s and shit.
Well,
yeah, it's going to be good, even better.
What we're literally shooting a silhouette around the biggest elephant in the country, which is that the United States is no longer the name and quality.
No,
and it used to be.
Oh,
like it. I mean, you should buy American was like the phrase. This is American.
Toby Keith,
like that mattered.
Made in America. That was a good song right there, man.
Hey, and now it might as well just be a brand tag. Like, it's American. And like that, it's coming back.
Well, and what we need to do is we need to get RFK in there because we need to really do the whole food thing. I saw a thing on Reels or something. A dude held up a can of the Mountain Lightning from Walmart, which is the equivalent of Mountain Dew. And the ingredient on the back of that says vegetable oil. I went and grabbed a can of that shit that I have in the fridge, and I'm like, he's making that up. This soda has vegetable oil in it. Why do you need... We went and looked at 2 other cans of pop in our fridge. None of them have vegetable oil in it. why does this antifreeze shit have vegetable oil in it? It does not need vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I shit so much, is I drink a lot of vegetable oil. I didn't start it. That's
Honestly, man, aside from, hold on, where
You
did I
just figured it out.
Aside from, aside from this stuff, Lift Bridge, Black Cherry, I don't really drink soda anymore. Like, I haven't done it for years and years and years.
Black cherry soda? That
I'm
sounds
very
quite interesting.
I know. I'm
Get me
quite
one.
picky about
Bring
the
me
energy
one.
drinks.
Bring me one. You gotta
I
get
will.
one.
The next time I come up there, I'll grab a bunch. So this is Lift Bridge soda, and if I read the ingredients on it, it's a 3-line list of ingredients. 3 lines only.
hey,
The list of
Excellent.
ingredients are carbonated water, natural sugar, natural and artificial flavors, FD&C, red number 40,
Oh,
sodium
you're gonna
benzoate,
die.
and citric acid.
Yeah,
That's
no.
it. The only thing I don't like on here is red number 40, and I really don't give a shit about that because it's the third to last thing on the list, which means
Yeah.
there isn't very much of it in here.
No, I
Yep,
actually,
So like,
I was drinking a lot of pop soda, whatever the hell you want to call it, and
We're in Minnesota. It's pop.
our friends are on a program called Advocare, and they have this drink called Spark, where you put a scoop of it in water, and it's supposed to give you the equivalent of a soda's worth of caffeine, but it's got vitamins and all that shit. So probably the last 5 months, that's I drink that instead of coffee in the morning. I do a double dose of that, and then I drink water, flavored water or regular water all day. I can tell you right now, I know the days that I drink a soda of any kind or a pop of any kind. Those are the nights I lay in bed and my brain is making noises like Daffy Duck used to do when he was bouncing around. Boop, 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 you know, boop, 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 all fucking night long. Dude, my brain is just bouncing, and I'm just like, will you fucking stop? I gotta work in 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
So I have realized that I cannot drink anything soda, pop, caffeine wise like that after like 2 o'clock, or I'm done. There is no sleep that night.
I've been having great results with NeuroGum.
Neurogum.
NeuroGum, it's kind of become a fad a little bit. Rogan had it on his show,
Okay.
and he's like, "Oh yeah, the guys in the back go through it. We go through like 4 of these bags a month, and like they make gum and mints. It's got L-theanine in it and a little bit of caffeine.
Okay.
They actually make a version that doesn't have caffeine called Calm and Alert, which is quite good.
Oh, I
I'm
saw
not
him-
paid by them.
I saw
probably should
him. Yeah, I saw him doing those. Yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah, he was popping.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll have to try
So
those.
good.
Yeah. So back to the matter at hand here. So far his picks, Pete Hegseth got in.
Minnesota
immediately.
boy. There.
Yes.
Congrats
The
to Pete.
Hey, let's
Congrats to
go.
Pete.
The alcoholic. That's all right. We
Represent.
hey, look, man.
Like I said, Minnesota boy. What the fuck
That's
are you
right.
gonna do? Ice fish and drink beers
He
or smoke buds? One of the two.
he's
Fish
already
whistle. What's up?
he's already coming out saying, look, yeah, this DEI thing in the military, bye, it's got to go. Transgender, yeah.
Right.
And look, I don't care. I don't care if you're transgender. We have a new family member that just came here from Indiana. Long story, I won't get into it, but his name is Cage, right? He's transitioning from a female to a male, and he's living with my son and their family. It's Cage, man. I don't care if you're transgender but we shouldn't allow you in just because you're transgender. The whole diversity, that thing's got it's I'm glad it's done. Best person for the job should be best person for the job. It's always the way it should have been. Work for your merit. You get along in life by working hard and dedicating your life to something, and you'll get ahead that way instead of I have a family member who literally is on their 7th job in like 4 years, and to me that's
It happens.
that's ridiculous. just, like, I mean, unfortunately, I'm leaving my position at the chamber as the president because I don't want to be in the spotlight anymore. I just want a job. I want a job where I go to work, I punch a clock, I come home, I eat dinner, I hang out with my wife, I hang out with my friends. Weekends, I do my thing. That's what I want. I don't want to have responsibilities of the whole city and all these different events, and I don't want that anymore.
You mean county?
County.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And
Pick one, either.
it came to a decision that it's just time for me to move on. And I put my resume out on Indeed, and literally I've had 3 interviews. I have one more lined up. I've already had 2 offers for jobs. Because people nowadays are looking for people that have experience, and I have experience in many different areas. Because how I explained it to one interview was, it's like, well, I've actually been an entertainer since I was 19 years old. I've just had a lot of odd jobs on the side to make up money when times were thin during the bad times of the DJ service. So they're like, well, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'd take a job as, Pizza Hut general manager for, a year and a half, and then all of a sudden the DJ business is calling again. So then I quit that because I can make more at the DJ. I said, so I have experience doing so many different things. It's easy for somebody who's employable nowadays to get a job. You just have to go out there and actually interview with these people and, use the right tools to get in front of the people. So, Indeed is an absolutely amazing work app to find employment. I like the fact, once again, not endorsed by Indeed, but if you want to give us some money, I'd love it. They allow you to message the employer directly after you submit your resume, so you're able to send them a follow-up saying, hey, I just want to make sure you got my stuff. And then that's usually when I hear back from them, is when you send that initial or that second message, not just your resume. So a lot of good feedback about Indeed. I like their process. It's easy to find a job in the area.
I was always curious about that because I've used Indeed before myself, and I always looked at that follow-up message thing as like, oh man, am I going to be like e-stalking these guys now? Like, I send you my resume, but that's not good enough. I'm up in your inbox now, and I'm going to tell you got to talk to me. Yeah, I was never sure about that. That's good you mentioned.
Absolute best way to do it, and almost use it like a cover letter when you send it. That's really how most of mine work, is I use that as like a secondary cover letter. You address them, tell them that you're really interested and this is your qualifications and you'd really like to speak to them, kind of thing. And it usually about 80% of the time I'll get some feedback from the people. A lot of times they say, hey, we looked at your credentials and you're just not a good fit. Cool. You know what? I can now remove your name from my list, knowing that I'm not going to get the job, instead of waiting and waiting, going, I wonder if they got my resume. Because a lot of times, I mean, when I was at Walgreens as a manager, there'd be times where people would come in and go, hey, yeah, I sent a resume in through Indeed. And you're like, oh, fuck, I haven't checked Indeed's email thing in like, a month. Yeah, there's 45 applications, So it's more, if you get that if you can get those people to do that follow-up, yeah, you just got to get.
I've always just walked straight into a place and said, hi, heard you were hiring.
I wish that was the way to do it nowadays. I literally miss the old day of, well, I guess that was, you go to the mall, but there isn't anything like a mall anymore, but you would go to the mall and dude, there'd be like, okay, there's 30 stores in here, hire and grab like 7 applications, go sit in the food court, fill them all out while you eat a slice of pizza. You go back to all of them hoping that they ask for an interview, and and then you do your interview and maybe you make your $3.75 or $4 an hour, selling shoes like fucking Al Bundy at 16 was actually what I did.
We were close, dude. I think my first job paid like $5.50.
$5.50, you lucky bastard. Yeah. Well,
$5.50 an hour. Yeah, buddy.
Mine
I was
was-
real excited when I got up to $8.25. I was like, oh man, I'm making it. I'm making it. This is great.
mine was 1985. Wow, 85 was my first
What's up?
job. I worked at Kinney Shoes in Maplewood Mall because my mom worked there, and the manager told her he was looking for a stock boy for the Christmas season. So she said, "You want to make some money?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." So I went in there. I was a stock boy for like 3 weeks. And then he told me they were really busy on the floor and go help a lady with some shoes. I'm like, bitch, I'm 14. I don't know how to sell shoes. And I put a pair of
Right.
shoes on a lady and she bought them. And he's like, yeah, you're going to be out on the floor now. So I was selling shoes at 14 years old, man. I was Al Bundy at 14, man, trying to get a size 10 and a 7 because that's what she wears.
I was totally going to make the reference,
Actually-
but you did it.
Actually, you know what?
Nice.
The great thing is I learned a trick, and this actually works. If a woman is wearing high heel shoes and the heel is bouncing up and down, if you chew tobacco, take a little bit of that snuff, you rub it on the inside of that heel, makes them not slip for about 15 minutes. That's how we got every one of them women to buy shoes at that store. Is they'd be like, God, that's a little loose. And they'd be like, you know what? I'm going to take it back. I got this machine. We can shrink it down. You go back there, some guy's chewing. You put a little pinch it in there. She's like, oh my God, it fits. Out the door they go. The inside
Oh,
secrets
man,
of a
that's
shoe
wild.
salesman.
Inside
right there,
trade
buddy.
secrets here, everybody.
Hey, I'm going to go get some water, you guys. I'll be right back.
Roger that.
Nice.
Dude, I'm blown away that that the U.S. sent their most advanced aerial reconnaissance craft over Mexico with its transponder on.
Hold on, wait, fill me in. What in the wild world of sports did you just say?
So
What?
because
Wait, repeat
because
that
Trump
stupid
is
shit you just fucking told me. What?
I'm repeating it. So because Trump is a man of action, apparently, he decided that he wanted to send a very clear message. So the United States, I forget the official name for the craft. It's a rivet joint fixed wing aircraft, I think. It is the
X-Wing,
most
shut the fuck up.
basically,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
It's an X-wing
I mean, I'd
starfighter.
like it if it's true. I'm down for it, but please tell me there's fucking X-Wings.
They sent
What? Thank you, Elon.
they sent the United States, the world's most advanced aerial reconnaissance craft,
Okay.
over Mexico with its transponder on. Which that's relevant because if they didn't want to be noticed, they could have done that by just turning the stupid thing off.
Right.
But this was the equivalent of like the big man on campus rolling through, Central Park in his Bentley, just reminding everybody that life ain't fair and I got your number if you want some. And that is a powerful message. They're literally just by doing that and not just over at once, in a racetrack pattern around the country, over and I don't know for how long. I think it was like 10, 12 hours, some ridiculous
It's
amount
just,
of time.
Jeremy, push me.
Literally,
See what happens.
Yep, just repeatedly with the transponder on, so they all know all of their communications are being surveilled.
Step.
Are you
I'm
guys
not-
talking about
I'm
the airplanes over Mexico now?
Yeah, the fact that the United States sent its most advanced surveillance craft, its most advanced aerial reconnaissance craft, in a racetrack over Mexico with its transponder on, which is the equivalent of saying, "Hi, fuckers, we're watching."
Hi, we know
Like,
where
literally.
you are. Trust me, we do know where you are. We've known where you are the whole time. We just didn't have the balls to do anything about it until now. So if you want to mess
Like-
around, we're going to turn Mexico
How you
into
doing?
the second biggest golf course in the world.
Dude, homie's about to have all the cartels south of the border passing notes like they're in class, trying not to get in trouble. Like they're going to go to fucking carrier pigeons. Like, what are they going to do? They're literally just being listened to now for as long as that craft is overhead.
Yep.
And they know it. Like, they can't miss it. El Chapo's fucking IT nerd is sitting there going, boss? Like,
Excuse me, senor boss man.
I don't know how to say this, but maybe don't send that kill order over anything that makes a wave right now.
Yeah. I am absolutely amazed at how much you can get done. Actually, it was funny because I was watching Gutfeld from last night, and basically Trump right now is just going, hey, we're going to do this. And then he'll look at a guy and go, can we actually do that? And he's like, well, you know what? Let me check with the nerds in the back. And the nerds are looking at the laws going, hey, we can do that. And Trump's like, all right, then I guess we're just going to do it then. Literally, that's what he's doing right now. He's pulling out of all of these things. He's like, look, we don't need to be in this. It's not run right. We're going to pull out of the UN Health Advisory Board or something. I mean, he's literally just like,
been doing some big
actually, you know what he's doing? He's curling in like a rattlesnake right now. He's kind of getting his coil. He's getting ready, kind of putting his defenses together, going, here's the rattle. I'm getting pissed. Donald's throwing shit out there. Somebody's going to come at him, and he's going to be like, bow. Then the whole world's going to go, oh, shit. Okay, Donald's not playing around. Like Iran. Look, Iran, you don't want to mess with Donald Trump right now. He's an old man. He may not have 100% of it up there.
The old button finger might be a little quick twitchy.
No, don't mess with. So once again, I'm praying that everything he said he's going to do is happening, and it's going to happen the right way. And America does become great again. Because we're not great right now. We're mediocre at best. There's too much division in our country right now. And the other thing I saw too was a post.
I'm not sure that's really a goal of that they really want to fix.
So it said something along the lines. It was from a black rapper or something. He said the people that are getting the most upset about the DEI inclusion and all this stuff, and minorities getting jobs over the majorities. He said the minorities should be actually more upset about that than the majority should be, that they're saying that you're not good enough to get these jobs, so we're going to give them to you. He said,
on your own.
You guys should, they should be fucking upset about this instead of like, yeah, give us those jobs. Hey, look, if you want to be a police officer and you're black, or you're Hispanic, you're Chinese, you're Asian, whatever, be a cop. I don't care. Do what you got to do. But you shouldn't get the job because you're black. Because if you're not qualified, then qualifications should be the number one thing for getting a job. Like right now, do you think I would be, well, shit, that doesn't work because, never mind, I'm a president right now. I can't get any higher than president, right? But, it's like, if, say, a kid working at McDonald's working fries, all of a sudden he applies for my job as president of the chamber, but he's black and he's a midget, he should get the job? No.
I thought you had to be this high to fry fries.
That's right. You got to be that high to ride rides. Now, if he's
I said fry fries.
If he's got a master's degree in sociology or something, okay, then why is he flipping fries? Because he got a degree in sociology. It's a worthless degree. Go get a
Hey, wait a minute, I minored in that.
certificate of carpentry from your
What is
local
this
tech
minor?
college or something. Go be a plumber. Have a profession. Have a trade. You know how long you have to wait to get a plumber if you call a plumber in a small town like in our area? You're looking at a week. You're looking at a week and a half out.
You're lucky in an emergency they can make it in the next 48 hours. Lucky.
So
And pay paid double.
we need more people that have trades. We need more people that have trades. More funding to trade schools, less funding to universities is my opinion.
And you're correct,
80-50
mostly
maybe.
because you can't flood industries. And
No.
lately, with the throttling,
Sometimes
there aren't
floods are
very
good.
many like meat and potatoes, like you're just your garden variety, well-paying, though usually labor-intensive jobs available anymore because they've all moved out of country. And now a pile of like IT gimmicky, markety kind of things. There's grossly flooded industries. There's a gazillion people trying to get into, whatever, marketing, IT, you name it. Not IT as much anymore, but still. It's one of those things where that results in a lot of people either not being employed or not really having anything to get employed with. And that sucks because, the work of your hands should be worth something. And, if you maybe haven't had the kind of life where you have some crazy cool like trade that you've honed that you could go, do this or that, you're kind of stuck. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm a firm believer in making those kinds of jobs sexy again.
Oh, plumber,
Like I know not a
plumber?
lot of people see what I mean. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like nobody really thinks of being like a body technician or a plumber or a carpenter as sexy. But the fact of the matter is, those jobs pay a grip.
Oh, a grip and a half.
Dude, I was building
Good
houses
money.
ever since I was 9.
Yeah.
Started by peeling logs, yo. Started by peeling logs.
I back checked while we were chatting just now. I back checked the type of aircraft. It's an RC-135, and it's so prominent that
RC remote control.
Once you see one of those things flying over your country, like corporeal military action usually follows.
I'll change your shorts.
Basically, yes. Like most countries are aware that once they see one of those things flying overhead, somebody's coming with guns real soon. And so it sends one hell of a message. I find that interesting. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Effective.
The trades are woefully unsexy in like common parlance and social stuff, and that's really crappy because those are really good paying jobs, and they're good paying jobs that usually aren't horrifically dangerous. Like unless you do something incredibly stupid, it's unlikely that snaking a drain or installing a toilet is going to kill you. Though you may be sore and have to shower a little harder. That's about it.
So I just read here on Reuters, the 10% tariff on China now in effect, and that came out an hour ago. So.
Oh, baby.
It's getting real. See how
I'm
they
so here
react
for
to that, huh? So I just want to make it known to you guys that I don't know if it was just me or not, but got challenged by Senator Nate Weisenberg, a beard challenge.
Yeah, I'm not playing that.
Challenge
you guys got that in spades.
Challenge
go
accepted.
Hey.
Oh no.
Short and sexy, baby. Short and sexy. Look,
hey, let's go. Let's go.
1980s.
Hey, you know what?
1980s
you know
Bush,
what? I don't think he
1960s
said
Bush.
it. Let
right
me
there.
check and see if he said anything about length. Because I'm gonna say right now, challenge accepted, fool. What's up? Nope, yep. Beard competition. Challenge accepted, sir. Ooh.
It's on, baby.
No, are we gonna do ranked choice voting for this?
So
Oh,
it looks like Trump and Benjamin are together right now at wherever they are. So we'll see what
So-
plays out with
So
with them.
Israel or Palestine?
So I don't know if either of you two follow basketball much. I know, Patrick, you watch the Wolves, right?
A wee bit.
Okay. Steven?
Not really.
Okay.
Not much of a basketball guy.
So Luka,
I was what you would call a power forward.
I was not a basketball player because I was uncoordinated and I was short and white in high school. So
6'4",
did not have much of a chance in the inner city of St. Paul to be a star basketball player anytime in my youth. So yeah, not a sport. I was actually a good shooter. I just never got to play because who wanted the 4'7" white guy?
I thought you were going to say you always got blocked.
No,
Dear.
Look, I was some J Kidd, man, some Jason Kidd back in the day. Watch out! I had a crossover that, woo! I knock a boy down with a crossover.
Oh,
No, by the way, the Wild,
loving those khakis, buddy.
by the way, the Wild lost tonight.
Ooh.
Fucking figure.
Well,
So let's have a sports update minute. Ryan Hartman is out.
10 games, $483,000 he loses in salary for that.
And he's out
10
till
games.
mid-March.
Yep.
And from what I understand, I haven't seen any clips, but from what I've heard them talking about on the radio,
It's brutal. It was absolute intent.
he tried to spike somebody's face in the ice.
He tried to literally drive his nose through the ice, like he was Mr. Miyagi doing some shit on that car with some wax.
So, my next question is: isn't Hartman's role on the team is kind of the Fulton role, the bruiser?
No,
I haven't seen anything to have any judgment on it. All I heard is on the radio.
The reason why Ryan Hartman got 10 games for it is he is a repeat offender. This is his
He's a repeat offender.
fourth offense for intent to injure. He is a dirty player. He is an instigator. I mean, he will throw hands with anybody. He doesn't give a shit. He is.
So he's that guy. He's
But
that guy.
But he was also on the line with Kaprizov and Zuccarello, and that was the best goddamn line in hockey. While those three were, they were in sync. Like they were in sync more than the Backstreet Boys were in the '90s and 2000s.
Holy fucking God!
I brought that all together there. That was pretty
cool. Flip it.
That was like a sixth wall break.
That was like a 19 wall. Anyway, a wall break instead of a wall break. It's like 16
Also,
wall breaks.
Follow up. I like this guy already. Continue.
So yeah, he deserved the 10 games. He was running a little hot that night. He had already had a couple of minors for some stuff, and he did what he did. He's going to pay a lot of money for it, and he probably will not be a Minnesota Wild next year. He was supposed to be one of the leaders, especially when Kaprizov is down, because he's been in the league for half a dozen to a dozen years now, or whatever it is.
Damn.
John Hines isn't going to play that kind of hockey. He'll be done with his contract. They will trade him, if not before the end of the season.
I kind of have this vision of Heinze walking into the locker room after that happened. But now pause that thought and think Letterkenny.
Oh yeah,
he comes in
the
locker room kicking shit over. Fucking embarrassing.
No, and actually,
I just for some reason something along those lines played
Coach
out.
Hines probably, hopefully Hartsey was either out of there before Heinze got in there, or he because he was going to give it to him. and he deserved everything that he gets because when your best player and your second best defenseman are down right now, actually, you're anyway. You can't take stupid penalties.
Quit bringing up fucked up shit.
You can't take stupid penalties that's going to hurt the team for 10 games. Now, hopefully the guy that they bring up from the Iowa Wild will fill the role because I am still happy that Mr. Devin Shore, fuck you, Shorzy, number 19, is still on the Minnesota Wild. He's still there playing, so we have a chance of getting Shorzy. Well, Shorzy actually scored a goal 2 games ago against Montreal, so I was very happy that the Shorzy got the goal. He's actually on a really good line right now with Yakov Trenin and Johnny Gaudreau. It's a big, heavy, fast line that they got some good puck handling skills, and boy, did they grind out those corners, man. It's nice to see. So, I think if we can get a healthy Wild team back here within the month, it sounds like Brodin and Johansson should be back the next home game. They'll be back, so whatever that day is. And then Kaprizov mid-March and Brodin hopefully by the end of February. So we may have a full team except for Hartman till then. I'm sorry, did I not take a breath during all of that?
But the real question is does he take a dump between innings and answer the huddle from the bathroom?
I would honestly say he probably does. You gotta, hey man, if you're short, dude, do you know how much shit he gets in the locker room? He's got to get all kinds of. Because every hockey player ever is watching Shorzy season 4 right now. Because I am watching season 4 right now, and I am laughing my ass off. Okay.
I haven't watched any of Shorzy.
God, dude!
I haven't seen season 3 yet, so I'm only halfway through.
The bomb. Okay.
It's amazing. It's a great show.
Literally, it made me love hockey so much more again because it is what hockey players are like. It is exactly like every fucking locker room I've ever been in my life. Every locker room I've ever been in my life is those locker rooms right there. Talking shit to each other like that is absolutely mind-boggling amazing. And it's actually a good story. It's actually a good story. He's a no good hockey player that will never lose again. Never lose again.
Senior whale shit hockey.
Senior whale shit hockey. Beautiful.
Whale shit all the same.
So while we're on the sports topic, there's a certain big ol' super.
I ain't watching shit on Sunday. I'll tell you that right now.
Thing going on.
I ain't watching shit, and I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people feeling the same way. They don't give two shits about the halftime show. No. They don't give a shit about the teams.
I'll tell you why. Mainly, also, the big reason is I don't know if you followed the whole Kendrick Drake thing. And the fact that Drake, because this is just events that I'm watching play out, like, how many Grammys did he win for Not Like Us?
5.
And earned every one of them.
And Drake is saying he's going to sue him if he ever plays it live again. Where do you fucking think that's going to happen?
Look,
like, dude, I want to watch it. Dude, he's going to have, dude. Let me go on this rant for a second. He's gonna have the color reds and the color blues up there dancing together again. Unity. But that's never digress from that.
I honestly.
But no, so you're
don't
not even for the commercials. But
you know what, you know what though, the commercials. You know what? Once again, let's circle back to what we were talking about earlier. You get so much fucking information all day, every day, all day. There's constant just banging your eyes and your ears and your brain with all this information. The commercials aren't the same anymore. It's not. Dude, it's not like back in the day where you were like, oh my God, what's this next commercial going to be? You're going to be like, oh, hey, look at that CGI thing that did the CGI thing with the thing that did the CGI thing. So what? It's nothing. I actually honestly could not tell you the last time I actually watched one of those commercials and went, okay, now that is genius. They were all just like, eh. Because
I can't remember the last time.
It was all woke DEI
I can't remember the last
shit.
time I watched one of those, and I wanted to buy anything on it.
No,
Like there was nothing I was interested in. I'm like,
the Budweiser Clydesdales is probably the last time I remember when they all went down and took the knee for 9/11 or whatever it was. To me, I was like, okay, that is a commercial I'll remember the rest of my life. Okay, so you got a new flavor of Doritos that are coming out, and you've got all these celebrities telling me I need to eat these Doritos. Cool. Pepsi. Oh,
you gotta admit, the Doritos commercial with the silk bed sheets, when she's like, I got Doritos, and he comes running up the stairs and slides out the window. That was quality.
Yeah, but see, that's real life shit for me, because our dog used to do that when he first got him. He was a puppy. He used to run around the house twice to get up speed, and he would jump up on our bed. Well, at the time, we had 2 mattresses and a box spring because we thought we were kings. You know, we wanted to sleep up higher. And he would jump up, but he'd hit them fucking satin sheets, and he'd slide right into the wall every time. And we would just actually wait for him to do it, because if he didn't do it, then he wouldn't get into bed. So that's probably why he's so damn stupid nowadays. He didn't put a helmet on him.
So let's play a little game here on how many times that they're gonna show Taylor Swift.
I'll tell you how many times I'm gonna see Taylor Swift that day. Fucking 0, because I will not be watching.
All right, Mick's not coming over to watch the game.
No, I am not. You know what? If it would have been Detroit, of course I would have watched it. Or if it would have been Buffalo and Washington, it would probably be one of the biggest Super Bowl watches of all time, for the simple fact, is this the year the Bills are going to finally win their first Super Bowl in 5 tries, or is the rookie phenomenon quarterback going to win his first Super Bowl in his first attempt, being literally the greatest rookie quarterback of all time? 4,200 something yards passing and like 800 or 900 yards rushing. He threw for like 47 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions. He had like a 74% rate completion. Okay, look, rookies don't do that shit. Okay, this kid is the next. He's the
They're
next
not supposed
GOAT.
to do that.
He's the next
It's not
GOAT.
right.
Yeah. So what is this?
He was off the board when it was our turn.
Yeah, but hey, we got JJ McCarthy, man. JJ
Anyway,
McCarthy's no slouch. JJ McCarthy's no slouch, man. That's a big dude right there, and he's fast. So watch out for him. I don't think they're going to bring back Sam Darnold. I think they're going to let him play his hand on the free market agency and be the next. Who is that? Kirk Cousins to go to another team and get benched after a big contract. Actually, they cut Kirk Cousins, didn't they?
I don't know. No fucking clue.
I believe they did.
I'm not sure. Best of luck to Kurt, though.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback for the regular season.
I hardly even remember Kurt at all.
I remember a few of those passes that should have been completed, but yeah.
Anyways, we lost Steven with the talk of athletics.
So here's a cool thing.
He's like muted. He's like, fuck this.
So an Italian.
You guys, I'm going home.
No, sorry. I have a new puppy, and he spent a ton of time in his kennel, so I wanted to let him out.
So we have a new best of metal artist of the year. Gojira, Italian thrash metal band, won best song or best metal album of the year, beating out Metallica. Thank God, because
that's okay.
Hi, beautiful.
Who's a good boy?
Hi.
And of course,
the dog.
Gojira. Gojira. Christ, Gojira played at the Olympics.
Dude, that was epic.
That was epic.
Do you know what that was? Do you realize what they did there?
They played in front of 1.5 billion people. They brought metal to the mainstream, is what they did, man.
We'll dig into that
next
time.
episode, because I actually have to go tonight at 9:30 because I have a big day tomorrow. So we got about 10 more minutes. Steven, you got any words of wisdom that you like to spew on our wonderful people watching? Hopefully there's more than just my wife and family watching.
It's been a few. I know.
Any words of wisdom, Steve? Yeah, you.
Yeah, she said Steven.
Oh, my bad. I didn't guess that part. Oh man. Well, I think way too much about things that probably aren't important is what I think. But I think what's coming is going to be wild, probably for the better. I think that there's some likely complicated and dangerous mistakes that are going to be made. I think that we would do well to consider ahead of time what those may or may not be, but I wouldn't go too terribly far into it. And I think change is good. Of course, too much of it, nothing survives. So, it is all about hitting the sweet spot. If you go too far up, too far down, it's usually not all that great. But I think the changes that we've seen so far are otherwise good for the most part. And I think everybody out there should invest in some crypto. And while things are getting more expensive, life's getting more complicated, maybe a little more on the dangerous side in the interim until things settle down. Take time to just love the shit out of your family. Grab the people that you care about, grab the people that you haven't seen in a bit, and spend some time just in fellowship with people that you care about. Life can be real busy, and especially with all the crazy new stuff going on, it'll be there when you're done. So be good to each other and worry a little less about the world at large. It's going to be the world at large when you're done worrying about it anyway.
Yeah, you can't take life too serious, man. You're never going to get out alive. Trust me on that.
How about this one? The post I put up earlier on my Facebook. Of course, great picture of Brad Pitt from Fight Club. You are not special. You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else. You know what?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Look, just, to your point there, life is very short on this planet that we're on. It's short here. So you only get so many years. Don't waste them being distracted by the ugliness that is the government and the media and all the other shit that happens. You need to enjoy the things like you were saying, your family, your friends, the things you enjoy to do. Stop watching the news and try to get the news yourself by seeing what's going on instead of reading what's going on. Because all you're doing when you're reading is listening to somebody else's opinion. So you got to make your own opinions, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. At least that's what my dad used to tell me.
I was raised on that one too.
So, the big takeaway that I've gotten for the last 15 days is the exact same feeling you have is, what was the TV show? It was for the greater good. Oh, the greater good. Dude, the cop show, Hot Fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
Hot
yes,
Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz. Legendary.
It's for the greater good. It's
The greater good.
it's almost what we're in right now.
No, I've never shot it into the air and went, ah.
We are literally at that point where we could go one of two ways with what's happening right now. We could go to where everything is for the greater good, and then we get Gestapo-y style levels of maintainment on people, or we do what is right, and that is worry about yourself first, then worry about what's going on around you. Because if you can't handle yourself, you aren't going to be able to handle everything that's going on in the world. So less is more. Less is more. You remember the days when we didn't have internet? Can you remember that far back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that a great time where you called somebody? Where you at? Or you just drove your bike around the neighborhood until where you seen all the bikes were on the front lawn, and that's where you dropped your bike, and you went in and you just walked right in the house because that was your friend's house, and mom had a glass of Kool-Aid right there for you. You went out in the backyard and you played until dark, and you went home.
Yep.
And dude, that was before the rise of technology.
Yeah, well, before the internet, we had what was called the outside.
Yeah. Reality.
I
Like,
grew up in the
all
country.
summer.
My
All
nearest
summer,
neighbor
Mom
was
was
about
like,
4 miles away.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of the house. Well, Mom, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, but get the hell out of my house.
Yeah, go outside and play.
Just
Play
do
with what?
something.
Let the time in
If
the
I
woods
play with that
build
outside,
fires,
Mom,
start
I get in
fires.
trouble.
Right?
You know, I mean, I almost wish for a technology strike, if you call it, but the world would never survive. But I know. But what if
No, the strong would.
No, because everything is done electronics now. Everything, banking and everything.
The strong would survive.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't know how strong I am anymore, man. I'm 53. I'm going on 54. I don't know if I have enough strength left in me for that. I'm thinking
But,
just
I
a
mean-
group of people that just disconnect, kind of like the Matrix.
I'm a huge. Sorry, my bad.
Ah.
I'm a huge fan of a guy named Dave Rubin.
Oh, I love David.
Really cool
the
podcast.
Rubin Report.
Huge fan.
Oh,
Yeah, the Rubin Report. Dude, the
Absolutely.
guy's on it. Huge fan. Dave Rubin does these things where he just says, "I'm going offline. I'll be back in 2 weeks," and he literally like throws his phone in like a box and doesn't touch it for like 2 weeks. And like,
Really?
honestly, those are when I do stuff like that, which hasn't been very often lately, but I have done things like that before, and it is incredibly refreshing to not have some signal, picture, inbox, invisible crowd you have to interact with somewhere.
The blue light, man.
Man,
It's that blue light.
Blue light,
It's
man.
the blue
The blue
light,
light.
man. It's the blue light. Hey, look, I can't sleep at night until the blue light is on the TV, man. I gotta have that glow. I gotta have the
Right.
glow. It's just embedded in our brain now, dude. I didn't even remember having I think I got my first TV in my bedroom when I was like 15, maybe 16. And that was the only reason I got that is because they got a new TV in the living room, and I got this one for my fucking Atari or Nintendo or whatever the hell I had.
Did you have to turn the knobs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The
That's what's
UHF
up.
connector in the back that
Me
had
too.
the little whoop whoop. Oh yeah.
I think mine was when I was 11. I got my first
Hey,
TV in my
kids.
room when I was 11.
Kids, this is going to sound wild. I know it. But there used to be TVs with knobs that you could turn.
Yeah, and the kids were the remote. Go change the channel. Hey, go fix the
Yeah.
rabbit ears until the state. Go up on the roof, move the antenna.
And they weren't mounted. They weren't mounted on the walls.
And
They
if,
came
and
in
if you
giant
broke off one of
boxes.
the arms on the rabbit ears, you had to put a piece of tin foil on it to get better reception. And oh yeah,
Mm.
3 channels.
Well, my TV died when I was like 13 or 14, and nobody bought me a new one. But we had a spare black and white TV downstairs that had no real AV connections in the back. It just had 2 screws.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went down to the Radio Shack down the street and grabbed a coaxial adapter that had two little forks on the end of it, shoved them bastards in there, and man, I was playing Zelda the Ocarina of Time on a black and white TV with that was about this big. And that was just life for over a year.
Yeah, I always had a radio of some kind in my room though. I always had music on. That was more me though. I was always music, especially once I got that first job and I was able to go to the store and buy, my own cassettes at dude, I dropped a whole paycheck at Music Land. Dude, I dropped an entire paycheck, like all $68 of it be all cassettes. Come home, my parents be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, look.
No, I used to listen to music and read. I would put on the radio and I would read, especially after so I guess like short story time. My father died when I was 11, and he died of cancer. He had very aggressive cancer, and I had guilt tripped him horribly to buy me this giant chapter book. It was like a hardcover book called The Death and Life of Superman. Really great book, by the way.
Oh,
huge fan.
I read it.
And he kept telling me about how he wasn't going to buy it for me because I was never going to read it. And I swore up and down, Dad, I'm going to read the book. I swear to God, I'm super excited about it. I'm 100% going to read it. Man, he died before I ever read that book.
Yeah.
And because that's what you do when you're a kid, when you want something. And naturally, the first thing I did after he died was I read that fucking book, and I read it cover to cover. Every second of my life I spent not in school and not asleep. I was reading that book until it was read. And after that, I was very, very, very into reading. Then I went on to read BS crazy things like Dune and stuff like that. But it's one of those things like sometimes you need something to push you out of your comfort zone. Wish it wasn't that. But music is important. And I still remember the songs that came on the radio while I was reading that book. Granted, that kind of situation do that to anybody, but it's music is a very, very important thing. It's the great communicator. Doesn't matter what language you speak. Everybody speaks rhythm.
I got a sign back there.
Some better than others.
That says music is what feelings
Me,
sound
not
like.
so well.
It says music are what feelings sound like. And that's the absolute.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, I have to partake in a time to go. But everybody who watched and anybody who does watch this, I appreciate all of you, of course. And if you guys, great conversation again tonight, as usual. This was a great podcast. If you want to be a guest on the podcast next time we're on, just send us a message through our Facebook page, We Are the People. And we'll try to get you on here for a guest spot.
I'll reach out to one of us directly. Bye-bye.
Fellow Americans, grab your neighbor